It's coming. We'll start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Ashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastiki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे So, okay, we can read from. I think I have my pencil. Let me see. I have my pencil. One new pencil. That's good. Would you like to start reading Matthew this first?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can start reading. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Verse 13. Rajavacha Ahobhyam Dhanyatma Nripanam Mahatma Anuraganya Shila Rajam Rajanam Kulam Brahmanapada Sauchad Durad Vishratam Vata Gadhya Karma. Synonyms. Raja Uvacha, the fortunate king said, Aho, Vayam, we, Dhanya Tama means most Dhanyatama or Dhanyatama means most thankful. Nripanam means of all the kings. Mahatma means the great souls. Anugrahanya Shila means trained to get favors. Rajanam means all the royals. Kulam means orders. Brahmana Pada, feet of the Brahmanas. Shauchat, refuse after cleaning. Refuse after cleaning. Durat, at a distance. Vishratam means always left out. Vata, on account of. Gadhya means condemnable. Karma means activities. Translation. The fortunate king said, indeed, we are the most grateful of all the kings who are trained to get favors from the great souls. Generally, you sages consider royalty as refused to be rejected and left in a distant place. Purport. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport. According to religious principles, stool, urine, wash water, etc. must be left at a long distance. Attached bathroom, urinal, etc. may be very convenient amenities of modern civilization, but they are ordered to be situated at a distance from residential quarters. That very example is cited herein in relation to the kingly order of those who are progressively marching back to God. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that to be in intimate touch with dollars and cents men since men or the kingly order is worse than suicide for one who desired to go back to Godhead. In other words, the transcendentalists do not generally associate with men who are too enamored by external beauty of God's creation. By advanced knowledge in spiritual realization, the transcendentalist knows that this beautiful material world is nothing but a shadowy reflection of the reality, the kingdom of the God. They are not, therefore, very much captivated by royal opulence or anything like that. But in case of Maharaja Parikshit, the situation was different. Apparently, the king was condemned to death by an inexperienced Brahmana boy, but factually he was called by the Lord to return to him. Other transcendentalists, the great sages and the mystics who assembled together because of Maharaja Parikshit's fasting unto death were quite anxious to see him. They were quite anxious to see him, for he was going back to God. Maharaja Parikshit also could understand that the great sages who assembled there were all kind to his forefathers, the Pandavas, because of their devotional service to the Lord. He therefore felt grateful to the sages for being present there at the last stage of his life, and he felt that it was all due to the greatness of his late forefathers or grandfathers. He felt proud that he happened to be the descendant of such great devotee. Such pride for devotee of the Lord is certainly not equal to the puffed up sense of vanity for material prosperity. The first is reality, where the other is false and vain. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, from this purport, what I could learn is so first it's a little background that Maharaja Parikshit got cursed by Rishi Shringi, uh, uh, because who was the son of Rishi Shamik, to whom Maharaja Parikshit put a dead snake as garland. His son Rishi Shringi got angry and gave him curse to death by being bitten by a snake bird called Takshaka. So when the news got spread as fire spread in the dry woods. So and then all the saintly person and all the liberated soul and sages, they came to see Maharaja Parikshit. Now we are here that Maharaja Parikshit is saying, actually expressing his gratefulness to those saintly persons that generally the kings are. The king stays in a royal situation where with fully in like in fully material mm, like material what is it called
Opulence?
opulence, yeah. In fully material opulence, and they are so bewildered by the beauty of the material energy, that they actually don't think about going back to Godhead. But here in the point is mentioned that the material opulence and beauty we see around is just the reflection of the spiritual opulence, spiritual beauty that actually originally exists, and this is the shadow. And I remember the verse from Bhagavad Gita that it is our material world is like the reflection of the banyan tree. So the banyan, in our case, the it is so it as it is a reflection. So the root is up, and all the um, branches are to the downside, like the opposite. So it is just our material world is just the mere shadow of the spiritual reality. And so generally the kings doesn't understand this, so they remain baffled in the material opulences. So generally sages stay, who are so eager to go back to God, and they stay away from this royal association. By here, Maharaja Parikshit's situation is completely different. Is the second point I learned, that Maharaja Parikshit is a true devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, and that's why all sages themselves came to visit Maharaja Parikshit to see him going back to Godhead. So when they refused to take the association of other kings, they came here to visit Maharaja Parikshit because he is a great devotee, and in his final stage of life, he is going back to Godhead. And third point, I got that Maharaja Parikshit is actually showing his gratefulness, because he's showing gratefulness to, in two ways. In two ways. First, he's showing his gratefulness to forefathers, his forefathers, grandfathers, the Pandavas, because as they served Lord Krishna in a great way, with all devotion and wholeheartedly, with all in all their lives. That's why the devotion he got from them, and he could like he's grateful to his forefathers, because their devotion, he thinks that he got to uh, come into the Krishna consciousness, and finally being able to go back to God. And second, he's showing the grateful to the great sages, like who generally stay away from all uh, worldly kings, but thinks that Maharaja Parikshit is a great devotee, and he wants, and they themselves came to see Maharaja Parikshit. So Maharaja Parikshit is showing his gratefulness. And third, sorry, this fourth point, I got that Maharaja Parikshit is feeling proud, and being proud of being the great grandson of the or the descendant of the great devotees like Pandavas. And here Prabhupada mentioned that this pride, this pride of being the devotee of Lord Krishna, and this pride of having great devotees as the pre- predecessor, pre- predecessor, successor, and preceder. preceders,
predecessors,
predecessors.
the
I
forefathers,
Yeah,
yeah.
for forefathers. Yeah. So so he is his this pride is actually the true pride. It's actually the real pride, and it is compared to the false pride we have, like this is mine, I possess this in the material world. So it is for false pride, but now what he's feeling is true pride. So these 4 points. Oh, for another points, and the first Prabhupada mentioned that like as sages stays away from all material opulences and material contaminations, like also from these we can understand all the contaminated things like stool, urine and wash water. We These are the opposite things of cleanliness. So we must, because of outer saucham, our home or our living rooms should be like away from, or at least we should wash clean, be mindful about our cleanliness. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. That's all I could get.
Thank you for the nice summary, Mati. Are you all ready for the questions? I'll ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One is, why is Prabhupada explaining that example about how toilet should not be attached, toilet should be away? What is the purpose of Prabhupada explaining that in brief?
Mm, like because like cleanliness, like it is, as it is outer cleanliness, but for inner cleanliness we should stay away from material contaminations. Mm, is that like
Stay away from material contamination means?
like all the like material opulences, like money and different things that gives us some false ego and takes away us from Krishna.
Can you read the verse translation one more time?
Uh, um The fortunate king said, indeed, we are the most grateful of all kings who are trained to get favors from the great souls. Generally, you sages considered royalty as refused to be rejected and left at distant place. Yes.
Now you understood?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So briefly explain what you understood briefly.
Like the great sages who who consider who consider royalty, like the all the material opulence, they stay away from those opulences, they reject those opulences and materiality, because uh, because like and it means they stay away from, they keep that in a distant place, because that can bring uh, uh, some contamination in their heart.
That's also nice, but little bit I'll show you. Where is this here? Let me show you. Yeah. Transcendentalists. The transcendentalists do not generally associate with men men or women, okay, who are too enamored by the external beauty of God's creation.
Oh yes.
That means, they're not against the opulences, material opulences.
They are not like-minded, like they are they are not they do not associate with the beings that are material minded.
Exactly, got it, perfect. So basically, People who are thinking sense gratification is all in all life, they want to achieve more money like that, or enjoy more like that. They stay away from that because they don't see value in that. They
Yeah.
understand higher values already.
Yeah.
So that is similar to how staying away from stool and urine like that. That's what that's the reason Prabhupada is explaining that.
Mhm.
That how stool and we don't feel bothered. Oh, I'm missing my stool. We don't feel like that, right? That's what Prabhupada is saying. So we stay away, really want to stay away like that. That's the point, Prabhupada. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, that's the characteristics of a spiritualist and practitioner. So that is one lesson we can learn from ourselves, that we don't associate with materially engrossed people. What are sense gratification they may be allowed to, we don't associate much with them. Number one point. Number two, what can we learn from Parishit Maharaj from this verse and purport?
Um, the feeling of gratitude Parikshit Maharaj has.
Yeah, good. And you already explained nicely that he's feeling grateful for the sages, right? Sages to come there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also explained how he's grateful for his forefathers, also you mentioned. But there's a connection between those two. So generally, some great benefit comes for us, great mercy comes for us. We think, wow, I'm so fortunate, I'm so great that I got this benefit from it. They gave me this. But Parishimara, what is thinking? I'm so fortunate because of my forefathers, they gave me this mercy.
Yes.
The sages came not because of my greatness. Sages came because my forefathers did nice devotion service. That's why they're coming to show some mercy on me. That means he's in humble position also at the same time. Grateful and humble at the same time. So in fact, humility and gratitude go together. That's another quality we can learn. Whenever something great happens, we don't think, oh, because I did this that day, that's why this happened. Not like that. We think it's Krishna's mercy. They're merciful like that. That's another aspect we can learn from him.
Thank you.
Welcome. So we can go to the next verse, 1914. Let me read. Tasyaiva me agasya paravaresho vyasakta chittasya grihesva bhikshanam nirveda mulo dvijasaparupo yatra prasakto bayamasu datte. Synonyms. Tasya, his, eva, certainly, me, mine, agasya, of the sinful, para, transcendental, avara, mundane, ishaha, controller, supreme lord, vyasakta, overly attached, chittasya, of the mind, griheshu, to family affairs, abhikshnam, always, nirveda mulaha, the source of detachment, vijasapa, cursing by the brahmana, rupaha, form of, yatra, whereupon, prasaktaha, one who is affected, bhayam, fearfulness, asu, very soon, asu, datte, take place. Shemprabhu was explaining the meaning of the word asura, I was explaining. Asu means, asu means instant, immediate, like that he was explaining. Here it's saying very soon. So same point. And then Ra means Ramana. It seems that means they want pleasure immediately. So instant pleasure they want. That's what is the demonic tendency was explaining. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of both the transcendental and mundane worlds, has graciously overtaken me in the form of a Brahmana's curse. Due to my being too much attached to family life, the Lord, in order to save me, has appeared before me in such a way that only out of fear I will detach myself from the world. Nice. Purport. Maharaj Parikshit, although born in a family of great devotees, the Pandavas, and although securely trained in transcendental attachment for the association of Lord, still found the allurement of mundane family life so strong that he had to be detached by a plan of the Lord. Such direct action is taken by the Lord in case of a special devotee. Maharaj Parikshit could understand this by the presence of the topmost transcendentalist in the universe. The Lord resides with his devotees, and therefore the presence of the great saints indicates the presence of the Lord. The king therefore welcomed the presence of the great rishis as a mark of favor of the Supreme Lord. Wow. So many wonderful things in the verse and purpose, basically. So, like we know, Parikshit Maharaj is received the sages nicely. He gave them a seat to sit. And then he started, first he expressed his gratitude for coming. And he really felt inside that he's grateful for their presence. And this verse is telling, why did he feel grateful for their presence? Because they are devotees of the Lord. And when devotees are there, Supreme Lord is there with them. Like that. That is why he is feeling grateful for their presence, their mercy on him, like that. Then one more thing is being shared in this purport and verse. And then another thing is being shared here is that Supreme Lord has shown mercy for him by in the form of a Brahmana's curse. So he's not taking as, why did Krishna do to me? I'm being a nice devotee, I'm chanting 16 rounds. He's not scolding Krishna like that. He's thinking, Krishna is helping me to detach from these material things and connect to him more strongly. That's how it is. Remember in the previous chapter also we saw that mood from Parikshit Maharaj, that he took as an opportunity to strengthen his Krishna consciousness by leaving home and going to the forest and practicing last 7 days like that. So like that he's saying, thinking that is Krishna's mercy. So this vision develops by association of devotees and by our regular sadhana. Through this, we can develop this kind of vision. And this vision also comes when our focus shifts from the topmost priority in life is to get closer to Krishna, to work on our spiritual perfection. When we get that focus, then we can see how everything is supporting that or not supporting that. So that is the key. So that means he already has the focus that Krishna consciousness is the topmost for me. So now because now going away from home because of that is helping him now to intense in Krishna consciousness. That's why he's thinking it's the mercy of Krishna. So if my focus is, my topmost focus is that I want to become a billionaire, then let us say because this curse is going to die in 7 days, what will that do? That means I will not be able to become a billionaire soon. So now it's not favorable. Now I don't think it's mercy of Krishna. But in this case, because he's thinking the topmost thing is Krishna consciousness, and this is helping him to practice Krishna consciousness, he's thinking it's mercy of Krishna. And other thing is, you notice how that he could understand only by the presence of the topmost transcendentalists in the universe. That's also saintly persons. So, yeah, sometimes it can be physical presence, like the way it's being described. Sometimes they will reveal to us. Why is this happening? What is the lesson I can learn from here? Like that. We can learn from saintly personalities. Then they'll share with us, okay, this is your opportunity for you to practice tolerance. This is an opportunity for you to see how the mode of passion people act, to see how the mode of ignorance will act. Like that we can learn also. That's the other aspect we can learn from this verse. And then he's thinking, see here, if this situation did not happen, I would have been attached to family life and continue like that. Now, because this situation is arranged by Krishna, now I can become detached from Krishna. And then I can go practice Krishna consciousness seriously. That's so also Krishna saved me through this, like that. If Krishna didn't do that, I would not come to this path. We also need to look at the situations like that. Then we feel grateful for whatever happens in our life. We need to be able to accept whatever happens in our life and also be grateful for whatever happens in our life, like that. So that's the point being shared here. And then other thing Prabhupada is saying is such direct action of allowing creating a situation for detachment in the life of a devotee happens only in case of a special devotee. That means if we are encountering situations like that, we should find that as a special mercy when that happens. But usually, for ordinary normal practicing devotees, Krishna doesn't do that much. But for pure devotees, or who really have this strong focus, but they're not able to leave something because of some attachment in the past. So to relieve that, he will help with some arrangement like that. Otherwise, he doesn't do it with every devotee. Every devotee will take care of everything. Not that's not the conclusion. Only if the devotee wants, doesn't mind if everything is taken away, but wants only Krishna consciousness. Only then he can do this arrangement also. If he's not able to deal with this attachment like that. So that's the point being there. So Krishna takes away attachments to help us in Krishna consciousness if we sincerely desire to progress in Krishna consciousness, while not being able to work on the attachment ourselves. Those are a few thoughts on this. Any other comments or questions?
Hey,
No,
uh, can like I'm asking you, you can like give me some idea that right now means our lab members are is good, like they're good. Srila Jiva Goswami used to say all living beings are good. They sometimes behave in a bad way with others because of my own karma. So, like, no one is doing anything bad, but sometimes I stay so anxious that what I do, like, so I try to check myself. So I always, because of that, I always try to remember Krishna, like um, whenever working, whatever doing. And I think that means I don't think, like, can you, maybe it is Krishna's arrangement so that I can always remember him. That's
yeah,
putting me in an anxious state of situation so that I can always stay Krishna conscious, like doing every activity and saying, Krishna, please save me.
very nice, very nice. Yeah, so that we can stay in a dependent mode. But if we do naturally like that, then Krishna will not create that situations anymore like that.
But I'm not naturally doing
Yeah,
as
so
Krishna created now.
yeah, slowly we'll get there. Yeah, that's absolutely okay. Yeah, nice point you mentioned. Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
Prabhuji.
thank you, Mate. And then other point is that is not that this doesn't mean that we cannot see the good from bad. It's not that doesn't mean that. It means some persons may be engaged in a hurtful behavior. That's a bad behavior only. It's not that behavior is bad. It's the soul is completely pure. But currently, because they're affected by mode of passion or ignorance, they are behaving like that in a hurtful way. That's so we see. Not that, okay, nothing. Actually, I'm thinking it's bad. Everything is good. Not like that. Make sense?
Yes,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
perfect. Okay. We'll go to the 15th verse then. Anyone would like to read 15th verse?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, please go ahead. Okay.
Um, Srimad Bhagavad 1:19-15. Tamopayatam pratiyantu vipra Ganga cha devi dhritachittameshe vijo vijopasrushtaha kuhakastakshako va dashatvalam gayata vishnugatha. For that reason, me, upayatam, taken shelter of, pratiyantu, just accept me, Vipra, O Brahmana, Ganga, Mother Ganges, Cha also, Devi, direct representative of the Lord, Dhrita, taken into, Chittam, heart, Ishe, unto the Lord, Vijo Uparasta, created by Brahmana, Kuhaka, something magical, Takshaka, the snake bird, were either Dashatu, let it bite, Alam, without further delay, Gayata, please go on singing, Vishnu Gatha, narration of the deeds of Vishnu. Oh Brahmanas, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul and let Mother Ganges, the representative of the Lord, also accept me in that way. For I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord into my heart. Let the snake bird or whatever magical thing the Brahmana created bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. Purport. As soon as one is given up completely unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, he is not at all afraid of death. The atmosphere created by the presence of great devotees of the Lord on the bank of the Ganges and Maharaj Parikshit's complete acceptance of the Lord's lotus feet were sufficient guarantee to the king for going back to Godhead. He thus became absolutely free from all fear of death.
Yeah. Thank you, Mate. If you like to summarize something that you understood, that will be helpful, Mate.
Prabhuji, here it talks about the fearlessness. So, it's the trust on the Lord beyond doubt. It's the highest state, exalted state where there is no doubt left. There's complete surrender, knowing that nothing can come in the way between me and the Lord. And so I think 7 days notice, he thinks it's mercy, it's Krishna's mercy that he's gonna go back to Godhead. So that's all. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mate. Yeah, you nicely identified the theme also, which is the fearlessness. So basically, so that is what we can learn from this verse, how Parikshit Maharaj was so confident that Krishna will do the right thing for him. And Prabhupada is saying he was guaranteed that he's going back to Godhead like that also. And primarily because of association of devotees and his complete acceptance of Krishna's lotus feet. Those are the two aspects being described. So that is the important principle. That means complete acceptance of Krishna. Complete acceptance of Krishna means, that means we are not thinking, okay, Krishna, I don't know will Krishna will help or not. I don't know if I do only Krishna consciousness, then I will not be materially well. Like that, all kinds of doubts we mediate, right? He's past all of them. Like Mother said, he's already in the exalted status where he could completely focus on Krishna, completely take shelter of Krishna. So how can we develop this fearlessness then as practicing devotee? One is we understand, starting with the basic fact from Bhagavad Gita, that we are a spirit soul, not body. When we understand that anything that affects body, we have to suffer currently because of the pain of the body or something. That is inevitable in the material world. So we'll suffer it, but we understand actually I'm spirit soul. This is temporary. I'll continue to live nicely even after this body is gone. So there is one level of understanding that I'm not temporary. So because of body something happened, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to have this pain, lot of pain. Pain, we'll suffer with pain. Definitely it is not easy, not simple, not happiness, it's suffering only. But still, we can be grounded in the fact that I'm a spirit soul beyond this body, like that. Number one. Number two, when we cultivate, like in the previous verse we talked about, we can see Krishna's hand in our life, in every situation we have. Then we can also actually, from what has happened to us in the past, we can see how some difficult circumstances help us to become more Krishna conscious. Like that, when we see, then we can understand. And also, sometimes we get some simple mercy from Krishna. We never expected such things can happen, but suddenly, like gift, it happens. Then also, when we acknowledge Krishna's hand in that, By myself, I would not have got this gift. By myself, I would not have been able to do this one. By Krishna's mercy, I am able to do it. That means Krishna's greatness. So when we attribute like that, then we slowly will see Krishna is our well-wisher. We develop faith while reading Shastra like this. We develop faith that Krishna is my well-wisher, number one. And then whatever happens, my relationship with Krishna is not disturbed. Even I have a problem with my hand, leg, my relationship with Krishna is not disturbed. That we need to understand. Even if I'm not away from devotee association, I can have a relationship with Krishna still by reading Krishna Prabhupada books, by hearing classes. Like that, I can still have the association and I can still continue having my relationship with Krishna. That can never be disturbed. When we understand those things as a primary cherished treasures for us, then all sorts of situations, whether health situation, relationship situation, work situation, will become subsidiary or secondary. Understanding that that is going okay. As long as that's going okay, I don't mind like that. If you, I was giving class on third canto few weeks ago, and the pastime was about Jaya Vijaya story, where Jaya Vijaya was cursed from the Vaikuntha Loka by Kumaras, and they fell down. So in that pastime, also similar situation comes where Jaya Vijaya, after being cursed, they don't ask, can you please take back the curse? They don't ask like that. Can you please make sure that we have the association of devotees? Something to that effect they ask like that. So that is a important distinction. Like they're not making sure that the body is happy like that. They want to make sure their relationship with Krishna is maintained. So further, they're asking, can you please make sure that we have a devotee association like that? That is the idea. So basically, point here is that fearlessness comes through our sincere sadhana every day, morning or chanting, hearing and reading scripture, and understanding the nature of Krishna and how he protects his devotees, how this bhakti process helps devotees like Parishit Maharaj develop fearlessness like that. So when we understand those, then we are also inspired to be on that platform like that. So those are a few thoughts on this verse. Any other comments or questions? Okay, that's good. Then I think we'll end here today because I need to, I have a few rounds to chant also. I'll chant before I attend another class at 8:20. We can end here. We'll continue next session again. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srimad Prabhupada ki jai. Let's offer obeisance to all the devotees of the Lord. Vanchakalpa sarvabhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much, devotees. Hare Krishna.